Welcome to Gunsmoke Theater. I'm Dennis Daly. Very few radio or television programs had such an impact on their medium that they changed everything. One of those shows was Gunsmoke. Yes, it ran 20 years on television, but the TV show was a child of the radio show, which itself ran nearly a decade. Sit back now for the next hour as we go back into the archives and play some of those great episodes of the show that changed everything, Gunsmoke. We're in the last couple of months of 1954 now, and Gunsmoke is really, it's drawing the attention of the press. The ratings are increasing. The acting is getting absolutely magnificent. 2 shows now. Oh, yes, and a new sponsor. 2 shows now, and in this first one, I want you to listen to the great acting of Howard McNear as he portrayed Doc in the radio edition of Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke, brought to you by L&M Filters with the miracle tip. King size, regular, both at the same low price. Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Out this way, Dave. Follow me.
You sure nobody cares, Holly?
If they did, you'd fight for me, wouldn't you?
Sure.
Around here in the alley. Nobody will see us.
Sure.
Dave.
Holly, you're awful pretty.
Am I, Dave?
All right, stay back, everybody.
There's somebody laying over there, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, come on, Chester.
That's Dave Thorpe, Chester.
Want me to have a look around, Mr. Dillon?
Now, whoever did it ran down the alley into the street. He's just one of the crowd out there by now.
Is Dave dead?
No, he's breathing. I saw Doc in the saloon there. What's he doing?
He's coming.
Well, go keep that crowd back, huh?
Yes, sir. I will.
Dave.
All right. Hey, let me through.
Dave.
Let me through here, please. Yeah.
Hey, Dave, can you talk?
Let's see. Dave Thorpe, huh? Somebody shot him, Matt.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see here. Oh, yes, he got shot all right. Who did it, Matt?
Well, if you can bring him to, maybe we'll find out.
No, not this man. He's bleeding to death, Matt. There's nothing I can do to stop it.
Can you tell how it happened, Doc? I mean, where the bullet went in?
Oh, you don't need a doctor for that, Matt. His gun's still in his holster.
Maybe somebody outdrew him.
I didn't think about that. Let me see here. It couldn't have been much of a fight, Matt. He was shot in the back. The bullet came out right here. Where he's bleeding.
Can you get him to talk, Doctor?
Oh, he's too far gone, Matt. Well, there's nothing anybody can do for him now. And it makes a man feel pretty helpless. To stand here and watch somebody bleed to death.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't even know who shot him.
Maybe not. But he'd know who might want to.
Every time there's a new moon, somebody gets murdered around here.
Oh, here comes his brother.
What happened, Marshal? How is he?
He's unconscious, Joe. He's dying.
You done all you can for him, Doc.
There isn't anything I can do, Joe. The bullet went through his lung.
Marshal, I can't understand it. Who'd shoot him down like this?
Well, I was hoping you might have an idea, Joe.
My brother ain't got an enemy in the whole country. Never heard a man say a word against him.
Thorpe?
Huh?
Your brother's dead.
Well, it ain't right, Marshal. It just ain't right. Not Dave.
Joe, listen to me. Think hard now, would you? Somebody shot him.
What?
Somebody was his enemy.
No, nobody I know. Not unless it was some murdering riffraff just killed him to be killing. You got to find out who did it, Marshal.
Well, I'd like to,
You
Joe.
better do it. Nobody's gonna murder my brother and get by with it. It's a mighty poor thing when a decent man like Dave can get shot down, nobody does nothing about it.
I figure to do everything I can,
I don't
Joe.
care if you gotta take Dodge City apart, Marshal. You better find that killer.
They've taken the country by storm. L&M filters have soared to the highest popularity a cigarette ever achieved in so little time. And still, L&M sales continue to climb at a record pace.
L&M's give you much more flavor, much less nicotine.
That's because it's the filter that counts. And no filter compares with L&M's Miracle Tip for quality or effectiveness.
L&M smoke light and mild.
Only L&M has the Miracle Tip for the effective filtration you need. Smoke L&M's today, and you'll agree.
This is it, L&M filters. This is it, something new. Now 2 sizes, L&M filters. New king size and regular too. This is it, L&M filters. L&M filters with the miracle tip.
Join the trend to L&M.
King size or regular.
Both at the same low price.
All them empty cells out back, Mr. Dillon. I sure do wish we could fill one of them.
Well, it's not likely, Chester. Not tonight, anyway.
I sure didn't care much about the way Joe Thorpe was going on about you not doing nothing. What you expect of a man?
Well, he was upset about his brother, Chester. They've always been pretty close.
There's no cause for him talking the way he was.
Oh, he'll get over it.
Mister, I guess you're right. Joe will have to run their hide-buying business all by himself now, won't he?
He'll manage. He can always hire somebody to help him if he needs it.
Yes. Well, it's Miss Kitty.
Well, come in, Kitty. Come in.
Matt, this is Holly Fanshawe.
How do you do, Holly?
Marshal. And Chester Proudfoot.
I'm pleased to know you, Miss Holly.
Thank you, Chester. Holly's kind of new in Dodge, Matt.
Yeah, I've seen her around.
She was afraid to come here and talk to you alone, so I came with her.
There's nothing to be afraid of, Holly. What's the trouble?
You tell him, Kitty. I'll tell him part of it, but I want him to hear the rest from you. Well, all right. After the shooting tonight, Holly came to see me, Matt. She was pretty scared, but I told her you wouldn't let anything happen to her.
No, of course not.
Well, it seems she was at the bar drinking with Dave Thorpe a little earlier. And he had a kind of argument with a cowpuncher from that XT outfit that came in the other day. The Texan said Dave jogged his elbow or something silly like that.
Oh? Well, how mad were they?
Mad enough.
Oh, what do you mean, Holly?
He killed him, Marshal.
What?
That cowpuncher, he killed Dave Thorpe.
Well, how do you know?
I was there.
You were there?
Dave and I went outside in the alley just to get a little air, and suddenly this cowboy shot him. He must have been waiting or something.
You recognized him?
Real plain, Marshal. It was him, all right.
Well, how come he let you go?
I don't know. He must have got scared or something. But he shot Dave and then he ran off. I got scared and I ran too.
She wasn't going to tell you, Matt, till I talked her into it. She's afraid that cowboy or some of his friends will get after her.
No, nobody will bother you, Holly. I promise you that. Do you know this man's name?
They was calling him Fly Hoyt there at the bar, Marshal.
Fly Hoyt?
I knew an old lady down on the Brazos called something like that, Mr. Dillon. Only her last name was Fly. Her first name was
All right, Chester. Holly, are you willing to testify to all this in court?
In court? Oh, I'd be awful scared, Marshal.
But you'll do it, huh?
Kitty says it's my duty.
Good. Now, don't you worry about anything. Chester and I'll ride out to the XT camp in the morning and bring this Fly Hoyt in. There won't be any trouble. And, thanks for coming here, Holly.
Sure, Marshal.
That's XT camp up ahead, Mr. Dillon.
You been out here, Chester?
Yes, sir. I rode by it a couple of days ago. They gave me a cup of coffee at the wagon.
Oh. It looks like they're expecting us.
By golly, it sure does. I don't like the way all them men's lined up.
Maybe I was wrong last night about there not being any trouble.
That's the trail boss, that big fellow there. His name's Jim Cavanaugh.
You don't know Fly Hoyt, do you?
No, sir, I don't. I didn't meet him. Hey, they don't look very friendly, Mr. Dillon.
No, they sure don't. Chester.
Huh?
Let's leave our horses here and walk up, huh?
All right. Oh.
Morning, Marshal.
Are you Jim Cavanaugh?
Your friend there also tell you I'm boss of this outfit?
Yeah.
I got 20 men here, Marshal, not counting me. So you better climb into your saddles and ride right on back to Dodge.
You know what I came for?
That gal Holly got to talking last night late. A couple of my boys was there when she did. And you ain't taking Fly Hoyt, Marshal.
Ah. You and your men are ready to kill me if I try, is that it?
Kansas law don't mean nothing to us Texans, Marshal.
Does Fly Hoyt admit killing that man last night?
Fly ain't said nothing about it one way or t'other. We don't find it polite to inquire into a man's personal business.
Do you find murder polite?
Marshal, you get sassy, we'll bury you right where you're standing. Then we'll drive a couple thousand longhorn cattle over your grave and nobody'll ever find you.
Which one of your men is Fly Hoyt?
Reckon you don't hear good.
I want to talk to him. Which one is he?
Don't pay him no mind, Fly.
Why, is he too much of a coward to talk?
No man calls me a coward. I'm Fly Hoyt, Marshal.
You darn fool, Hoyt.
I ain't afraid. What was it you want to talk about, Marshal?
Well, if it's not inquiring too closely into your personal business, I'd like to know if you admit killing Dave Thorpe last night.
I didn't kill him.
A girl called Holly Fanshaw says you did. She says she saw you.
She's lying.
She says you had an argument with Thorpe at the bar earlier.
That's true. I remember the girl.
Oh, where were you when the shooting took place, then?
No place that'd do me any good.
Now, Fly, that ain't so.
Thanks, Jim. But I have to do this my own way. The boys here'd lie for me, Marshal. They'd swear to anything I wanted them to. But the truth is, I was alone when I heard that shot. I'd left the saloon and I was up the street there all alone.
You admit that?
I got no alibi.
But you say you didn't kill Dave Thorpe.
I never killed a man in my life. I don't believe in it.
Does Holly Fanshawe have any reason to lie about you?
First time I ever saw her was last night, Marshal. But I'm sure curious about her now.
Oh?
I'm rough in my ways sometimes, Marshal. But I ain't no killer. And I ain't no liar.
How are you going to prove it?
Well, Marshal, I'd ride into Dodge with you.
What for?
I'd like to have me a talk with this Holly Fanshawe. Then maybe I can prove it.
She was worried you and some of your friends might come after her.
I'd sooner blind a horse than lay a hand on a woman, Marshal. And that's the truth.
Okay, Fly, let's get going.
Where'd Holly be this time of day, Marshal?
She's probably still in her room, Fly.
I don't know where that is.
Oh, she's in the same room and house as Miss Kitty. She told me so.
Oh, good. I'll show you where it is, Fly. I want to talk to Kitty anyway.
Hey, Mr. Dillon, look. Here comes Joe Thorpe.
Joe Thorpe?
Yeah. It's Dave's brother.
Oh.
Good morning, Marshal.
Morning, Joe.
Didn't take you very long after all, Marshal. Heard the whole story.
Yeah, Holly Fanshawe's quite a talker.
Yeah. Well, it's Fly Hoyt, ain't it? Yeah, I remember seeing you, Hoyt.
Do you?
I was down the bar ways from you and Dave. He was a good man, Hoyt. I'm looking forward to your hanging.
I'm still wearing a gun, mister.
Marshal, how come you didn't disarm him?
I haven't arrested him, Joe.
What?
He says he didn't do it.
Who cares what he says? The girl saw him.
Yeah, I know. Fly's here now to talk to her about that.
What do you mean?
He wants to know why she said it was him.
Well, of course it was him. She saw him. Girl's got no reason to lie about it. Marshal, she witnessed the killing. She's identified the killer. That's good enough for me.
Well, it's not for me.
Okay, Marshal. Okay, then. You won't enforce the law here. I'll do it.
What do you mean by that?
My brother had plenty of friends here in Dodge. I'll get them all together. We'll come after him. We'll take on his whole outfit if we have to.
You try that and I'll throw you in jail.
I mean, when I say you arrest this man, Marshal, there's going to be trouble.
I'm not arresting him and I'm ready for your trouble.
Well, you're going to get it, all right.
That's a mighty hot-headed man, Marshal.
Yeah. And he means it about making trouble, too. Now, Chester, wait for us at the office, will you?
Yes, Mr. Dillon.
It's down the street a ways here, Fly. Let's go.
This is it, L&M filters. This is it,
Light and mild.
much more flavor. L&M filters, much less nicotine, light and mild.
No cigarette ever won such overwhelming success in so short a time as L&M. Never before have smokers spoken so enthusiastically.
Janet Blair said, I think L&Ms are the greatest thing ever to happen to a filter-tip smoker.
David Wayne wrote, L&Ms have the best filter of them all. Miracle Tip is right. There's nothing like it.
Socialite sportswoman Mrs. Laddie Sanford said, marvelous filter, exceptional cigarette. Wish I'd tried L&M sooner.
Always remember, it's the filter that counts. And no filter compares with L&M's Miracle Tip for quality or effectiveness. Our statement of quality goes unchallenged. L&M is America's highest quality and best filter cigarette.
Join the trend to L&M.
L&M, king size or regular.
And both at the same low price.
It's Matt, Kitty.
Well, this is a surprise. Come on in, Matt.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry to come in on you this way, Kitty, but, I kind of wanted to talk to you.
Sure, Matt. What about?
Fly Hoyt just went down the hall to Holly's room.
He did?
No, it's okay. The landlady told him which one it was.
Well, I'm not worried about the landlady.
No, Fly's all right, Kitty. He says he didn't do it, and I can't tell you why, but I believe him.
But Holly saw him,
Kitty,
Matt.
Tell me about Holly, will you? Do you know her very well?
No, not very. She keeps pretty much to herself.
Does she have any friends, any particular friends, any men?
Nobody she ever mentioned, Matt.
What was she doing with Dave Thorpe, I wonder?
You do?
No, you know what
Matt.
Yeah. You stay here, Kitty.
No, I'm coming with you. That's her room, Matt. Here.
Hey, you stay in the hall. All right, I'll take that gun, Fly.
Is she dead, Matt?
Don't look at her, Kitty.
Oh, Matt.
What's the matter with you, Fly? Nobody shot you?
I got hit, Marshal. As soon as I opened the door, somebody hit me. Knocked me out for a minute.
Lion won't help you this time, mister.
I ain't lying. I come to and I seen her laying there. And then you come in.
Who hit you? Holly?
No, Marshal. Somebody was hiding behind the door. I heard him move, but I never even seen him.
There's no closet in this room. Where's he hiding now, on the wall?
The window's open. Maybe somebody was here. Well, he's gone now.
My gun, Marshal. Did he use that?
That's been fired.
Smart. He killed her with it and then put it back in my holster.
Who did? I don't believe a word you're saying.
You're Miss Kitty, ain't you? I seen you last night.
We're not talking about me.
I wouldn't shoot a woman, Miss Kitty. I wouldn't shoot a man either unless I had to. Somebody's sure trying his best to get me hung.
Well, I don't know.
Kitty, keep everybody out of here, will you?
Yeah.
I'll send Chester and a couple of men for Holly. Fly, you stay with me.
You arresting me?
Here's your gun, Fly.
Thank you, Marshal.
This is my office here, Fly. Let's see if Chester's still around.
I'll help him if you want, Marshal.
Now, you can get somebody else. Well, what are you doing here, Joe?
Waiting for you. I want to talk to you, Marshal.
Okay. Chester, Holly Fanshaw's been killed over in her room.
Killed? How'd she get killed?
She was shot. Go get Doc, will you? And somebody to help you.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. What happened, Marshal?
Somebody slugged Fly when he went into her room. Then he used his gun to shoot her.
Who says they did?
Fly.
You listen to him like he was your father.
What was it you wanted to see me about, Thorpe?
Well, I was going to tell you I changed my mind about all I was saying out there in the street a while ago. But now, no, sir.
You know, maybe I ought to lock you up right now.
You can't lock me up. I didn't have nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with what?
Well, I mean, I ain't done nothing. You can't lock a man up for talking.
That's not what you meant.
Would you arrest Fly, Marshal? He's killed 2 people now.
Chester?
Yes, sir.
How long has Joe been here?
Why, he come in just before you did, Mr.
What are you
Dillon.
talking about? What difference it make?
I had a talk with Kitty, Joe. She told me about you and Holly.
What?
Holly didn't keep secrets very well. She told Kitty how you made her lie about who killed Dave and how you set it up for her to get him into the alley.
Me?
Fly didn't
Why-
get hit fast enough in Holly's room a while ago, Joe. He saw who did it.
No.
Tell him who it was, Fly. Now, go on, tell him.
What? Why, it was him, Joe Thorpe.
Oh, what are you
You might as well admit it. What were you doing, stealing money out of you and your brother's hide business?
You ain't gonna put me in jail. I don't care if I did kill him. No, you...
You okay, Chester?
Yes, sir. I held his arm so he couldn't get his gun up. It went off right on the floor there.
Well, you did fine. You might have killed somebody else otherwise.
Marshal,
What?
I don't understand this. I didn't see him in Holly's room. I said I did just because I figured you wanted me to.
Well, I did want you to, Fly.
Did Holly really tell Kitty about how Joe killed his brother, no?
No. Holly didn't talk to anybody about that. That or the fact that she was in thick with Joe.
Well, how'd you know then?
I didn't. But when he said he didn't have anything to do with it, I got an idea and decided to chance bluffing him. If he hadn't panicked, he probably'd have been okay.
You just made it all up, huh?
Yeah, but I made it up right. That's what happened.
A mighty poor man who'll shoot his own brother, ain't it?
His own brother and a woman.
He pretty near got by with it, Marshal.
Yeah, but when he picked you to blame it on, he picked the wrong man, Fly. You know, there are a lot of men I don't suppose I'd have believed. But that was his big mistake. I believed you.
Well, I swear. Marshal, wait till I get home and tell him about a Kansas lawman I met. Nobody'll ever believe me again.
Gunsmoke, transcribed under the direction of Norman McDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were Vic Perrin, Lawrence Dobkin, Jack Crucian, Jill Jarman, and James Nusser. Harley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
Gunsmoke from late in 1954, and now a second episode from that part of the run.
Gunsmoke, brought to you by L&M Filters with the miracle tip. King size, regular, both at the same low price. Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Stage from Hayes got here, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, that's good, Chester.
There wasn't nobody on it, though.
Oh, were you expecting somebody?
No, sir, but that ain't the point.
Oh?
How can they run a stage line without no passengers?
Well, I don't know, Chester, but the fewer people come to Dodge, the less trouble it means.
Yes, sir, but if people don't come here, you wouldn't have a job, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, you think everybody in Dodge right now is an honest, law-abiding citizen, huh?
Oh, no, sir. Is that what I said?
Is this the marshal's office?
Yeah, I'm the marshal. Come on in, mister.
My name's Pat Clay, Marshal.
Ah, how do you do? This is Chester Proudfoot.
Chester? Marshal, I got bad news for you.
Well, nobody ever came here with good news, as far as I can remember.
But what I got, well, it might get you killed.
Oh, is that so?
Now, don't get me wrong. Not by me.
No.
No, sir, I don't shoot people.
But you know somebody who does.
Well, Jim Beadle, that's who.
Jim Beadle?
Here, Marshal, read this. They told me to bring it to you.
Now, this looks like a court order. Who signed it?
Judge Miller. You know him?
Yeah, I know him. So Jim Beadle's squatting on some of your land you own up at Stone Point, is that it?
Him and his wife, Marshal. You see, they moved into a sod house I built, and they won't leave.
Well, how come they did that? Where were you?
Well, to tell the truth, I let him. I didn't need it for a while, and he was homeless, and so I took pity on him. But I told him only for 2 months, and it's 4 months now. They won't leave, Marshal, and they say they'll shoot me if I ever come near him again.
Now, you're saying they'll shoot me, too, huh?
Well, wait till you meet him, Marshal. You'll see.
All right, Clay. I'll ride out there tomorrow.
Look at that, Mr. Dillon. What was Clay talking about, a sod house? That's nothing more than a hut. It ain't even got windows, I can see.
Yeah, it isn't much, is it?
Hey, there's Beadle's wife now. Just come out. What's she carrying a rifle for?
Well, I guess Clay wasn't lying, Chester. I think this is far enough. We'd better get on. Miss Beadle?
Who are you? You know my name.
I'm Marshal Dillon, ma'am, from Dodge, and this is Chester Proudfoot.
Pleased to meet you, Miss Beadle.
Who are you looking for?
Nobody, ma'am. I wanted to talk to you and your husband. Is he around?
He's inside.
Well, would you tell him that we're here?
Mr. Beadle?
What?
Come out here. Don't forget your rifle.
Where's that, Claire?
Marshal from Dodge.
What do you want, Marshal?
Beadle, I've got a court order here that says that you've got to move out of that house and off this land.
Clay sent you.
No, Clay didn't send me, but he got the order, and it's legal. And, well, it's my job to carry it out.
I don't know nothing about all that. But we ain't moving.
Look, you can find some land of your own somewhere. Why do you want to squat on somebody else's?
This is our land. All around Stone Point here's ours. Bought and paid for.
What do you mean, bought and paid for?
40 acres, paid $1.50 acre for it. A lot more than the land is worth. We throwed in the hut and them hogs to boot.
Who did? Who'd you buy it from?
Clay's, who? Come around now saying we don't own it, wants us off of it. I told him last time I'd shoot him he'd come near here again.
Clay says that he was letting you live here for a while, helping you out.
For $60, helping me out? I'm working this land, Marshal. Going to farm me some crops here.
It ain't very good land, but we'll make it.
Wait, if this is true, where is your deed for the place?
Deed?
You know, Mr. Beetle, that's that paper Clay give us when we paid him the money.
Oh,
Well, do you have it?
No.
No, where is it?
Well, he took it. What he did?
What do you mean he took it?
Well, that was before he got mean about us moving off of here. Here's what happened. A few weeks back, Clay come by, said he'd be neighborly. He'd take that paper into Dodge and fix it up in the land office first. Something like that. Anyways, he took it.
I see. Then your deed hadn't been registered.
Marshal, I can't even read. I don't know what it was.
Well, do you have any proof that you paid him the money?
I don't need no proof. Other than I'm here and I'm going to stay.
Yeah. Where did you get the $60, Beetle?
Work for it. Where's anybody get money unless they steal it? Clay stole mine. This land ain't worth $20. It's poor land.
Then why did you buy it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe kind of like the name Stone Point. But I ain't moving, Marshal. Not for Clay, nor for you, nor for nobody.
Well, if you can't prove it's yours, you're going to have to move, Beetle.
Marshal, my old woman's as good a rifle shot as I am.
Practice every day.
You don't know if I'm lying to you or not, do you, Marshal?
No, I don't.
Well, maybe you'll never know. But we ain't moving. Not alive, we ain't.
All right, Beetle, I'll see what I can find at the land office. If your deed's been registered, well, then you're okay.
It don't make no mind to me about that, Marshal. Or about who's lying or who ain't, neither. But we'll kill us anybody comes a bothering. Now, you get on back to Dodge. And you stay there.
It's no use talking, Chester. Let's go.
And you tell Clay the same thing. I'll shoot him on sight.
No cigarette ever soared to such heights in so short a time. And still, L&M continues to break sales records everywhere, winning more and more smokers every day. What's the answer?
It's the filter that counts.
It's the filter that counts. And no filter compares with L&M's miracle tip for quality or effectiveness.
This is why L&M gives you much more flavor, much less nicotine. A light and mild smoke.
Remember, only L&M gives you effective filtration. No other cigarette has anything like it. Buy a carton today, and you'll say,
This is it, L&M filters. This is it, something new. Now 2 sizes, L&M filters. New king size and regular too. This is it, L&M filters. L&M filters with the miracle tip.
Join the trend to L&M.
king size or regular.
Both at the same low price.
When do you think Marshal Dillon will be back, Chester?
Well, he went over to the land office, Clay, looking up Beetle's deed. But he ought to be back most any time now.
I should have told you them Beetles are nothing but liars. They sure fooled me when I first met them.
They are kindly hard to get along with, I'll say that.
I'd do it again, though.
You would?
I mean, help people out. Just 'cause I got in trouble with them don't mean I ain't never going to help nobody again. I ain't that small a man. Oh, hello, Marshal. What'd you find out?
Oh, there's nothing at the land office.
Well, of course there ain't.
I went up to see Judge Miller. He's riding circuit through here now.
What'd he say, Mr. Dillon?
Well, the way things stand, the Beatles have got to move.
Well, I can't feel sorry for them the way they acted.
Chester.
Yes, sir?
I want you to ride out there and tell them they got a week. 1 week.
Okay, Mr. Dillon.
Well, that's settled. I sure hate to put you to all this trouble, Marshal, but a man can't lose his land.
No, of course not.
Even if it ain't the best land around. Well, I'll be going now. I'll see you next week, after they've got off.
Yeah, sure, Clay.
So long.
So long.
That ain't gonna be easy, Mr. Dillon.
No, it isn't, Chester.
Out in that flat country, you sure can't sneak up on nobody. And Clay says that sod hut's built like a fort. It's got no windows, and the door's 4 inches thick, and with a big bar on the inside, he says there's no way anybody busting in there.
Yeah, it's solid, all right.
Yes, sir. Mr. Dillon, maybe Clay's lying. Maybe they did buy it from him.
Oh, that's a hard way to make $60, Chester. Sell some land and then get hold of the deed and tear it up and then go to court and so on.
Yes, sir, it sure don't make sense.
Especially since they all admit the land's not much good.
Well, somebody's lying.
Yeah, but there's no way of proving who. Anyway, the law's on Clay's side, Chester. And I'll go with you. We'll tell him 1 week. And I hope nobody gets killed in this. Well, what are you doing in here, Kitty?
Hello, Matt. Sit down.
I was supposed to meet Chester here. I thought I was in the wrong place when I saw you.
I got tired of the Texas Trail, Matt. Thought the Alafagansum might change my luck.
Are you going to work here from now on?
From now on's a long time, Matt. There's Chester. Just came in.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Well, I'll give him time for a beer.
I was talking to him this afternoon. He says you're taking on the Beatles tomorrow.
Yeah. They've had their week.
From what I hear of him, I sure don't envy you that job.
I'm not looking forward to it, Kitty.
I met Jim Beetle once. He's a tough old turkey.
Well, I wish I knew whether he's a liar or not.
It's hard to tell with a man like that. He's a darn thin-brained.
Well, he's still smart enough to be a liar.
So's Clay.
Yeah?
Clay's no killer, though. But I'll bet it wouldn't keep old Beetle awake nights shooting somebody.
No, I don't think it would. But why all this trouble over some land that neither of them think is any good?
Maybe they're both crazy.
You know, I'm beginning to think they are, Kitty. Hey, what's the matter, Kitty? You want some water? Huh?
I'll be all right. Oh, phew.
Well, what started that?
I don't know, Matt. Suddenly got a whiff or something. Like breathing the fumes off a match. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Kitty, that's the best cough you ever had.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
No, I mean for me it was.
Oh, that makes sense.
Chester's finished his beer. We got some work to do.
Good luck with the Beatles tomorrow, Matt.
I think we'll have it, Kitty. Thanks to you. So long.
I sure do wish there was a moon tonight, Mr. Dillon.
A man can get shot in the moonlight, Chester.
Well, the Beatles ain't gonna shoot us if we can't even find them.
Oh, it's right ahead of us. We better go afoot from here.
Yes, sir.
You got everything, Chester?
Got the bag of sulfur and saddle blanket, Mr. Dillon.
Okay, now here's what we'll do. We'll sneak around back of the hut, and I'll help you up onto the roof.
Well, that ridgepole might not prove stout enough for me and all that sod on it, too. What if it busts through, Mr. Dillon?
Well, if it does, we're in trouble.
You mean I'm in trouble?
You're lighter than I am, Chester.
Okay, sir.
Now, there are only 2 openings in that hut, the door and the stovepipe.
So far, they is.
Look, if it's medals you want, Chester, you better go back to the Army.
Well, forevermore, can a man complain just a little?
Yeah, sure, but later, huh? We're wasting time. Now, when you get up on the roof, you crawl over to the stovepipe and pour that bag of sulfur down it. The coals in their stove will do the rest.
Then I'll cover the pipe with this saddle blanket and just make it worse for him, huh?
That's right. I'll be waiting near the door for him. But you jump down and be ready to help me in case they come out fighting.
This is going to make them awful mad, Mr. Dillon. You know what burning sulfur does to you.
Well, I know what it does to Kitty. Well, you all set?
Much as I'll ever be.
I helped Chester up onto the roof and then moved around to the door and waited. My biggest worry was whether the beetles would have time and think fast enough to come out armed and ready for trouble. The only thing I was sure of was that they'd come out. Sulfur fumes could drive a she-bear away from her young. I was thinking about that when I heard them inside.
Okay, Chester, they left their rifles. Come on down.
Oh, get it in!
Well, Chuck!
I can't see it.
Beetle, you and your wife stay right there.
It's a marshal clear.
Mr. Dillon, one of them was on the roof.
Hey, Montclair, let's get to the horse.
You don't have to run. Nobody's going to hurt you.
Come on, hurry. You don't shoot us on the arm.
Come on out of there, Chester. You hurt?
Well, I had my leg caught, but I got loose. I knew that doggone thing wouldn't hold.
You're limping. How bad are you hurt?
Oh, I just bruised it. It ain't nothing. Where's the beetles?
That's them.
You mean they got away?
Oh, we weren't trying to arrest them, Chester. All I wanted was to get them outside unarmed so I could make them pack up and move out.
Well, they've moved out. What with that roof all busted in. Oh, ain't it a mess?
We'll carry out what stuff of theirs we can and load it on that wagon. They can pick it up and dodge.
Tonight?
No, we'll camp here tonight. Do it in the morning.
I don't know about them beetles, Mr. Dillon. They ain't gonna quit this easy.
Maybe not. But at least we got them out in the open.
I'm thinking it was more comfortable when they wasn't out in the open, Mr. Dillon.
Matt! Oh, Matt!
Oh, evening, Doc.
Sit down and help me watch Front Street, Matt.
Okay, Doc, I'll join you for a while.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, you got nothing better to do than sit out on the hotel porch here and stare at your fellow man?
Fellow man? Oh, not my fellow man. All I have in common with most of these thieves and scallywags is fingers and toes and bones and skin and things like that.
I thought doctors were supposed to like people.
Oh, yeah, well, who told you that? Some hard rock miner? Yes, what does a miner know about doctors?
You make it tough, Doc.
I make what tough?
Talk.
I see. Well, I heard about how you talked the Beatles into getting off Clay's land out at Stone Point. Oh, you did real fine there.
Well, we got them off anyway. They came into Dodge for their belongings this afternoon.
Yes, I saw them, too. Oh, those poor... Oh, what are they going to do now?
Find some land of their own, maybe.
You don't believe their story?
I'm an agent of the law, Doc. It doesn't matter whether I believe it or not. The law demands proof. And they didn't have any.
Oh, I understand, Matt.
What?
That's right down the street, Matt.
Yeah. You better come too, Doc.
Yes. It's a little early in the evening for shooting, isn't it?
Who told you that, Doc? Some hard rock miner?
But I guess you're right, Matt.
Well, anyway, maybe it's just some cowboy trying to bring down the moon.
Well, there isn't any moon. And besides, there's a crowd up there, too.
What happened, Chester?
Oh, I seen the whole thing. I wasn't 30 feet off. I was standing back there talking to Mr. Green about
What
his
happened,
rope.
Chester?
It's Clay, Mr. Dillon. You better get up there, Doc. Looked like he was shot bad.
Who shot him?
Jim Beadle. He walked right up to him on the street there and pulled out a gun and shot him twice.
Where's Beadle now?
That first alley, he run up there.
Doc, go take care of Clay.
Oh, yes, I'm going.
You come with me, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, here we are. All right, you wait here, Chester. Unless he gets me.
Okay, Mr. Dillon.
Don't you come no closer, Marshal.
You killed one man, Beadle. That's enough.
Kill me a lot of men if I have to.
Beadle, throw your gun out.
I told you, don't you come no closer.
I have to, Beadle. No, wait there, Chester.
You get him, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, I got him. Find a couple of men and go take him up to Doc's, will you?
Well, here's Doc now.
That's all. Was somebody else been killed here?
Beadle, Doc. He tried to shoot Mr. Dillon.
Clay's dead, huh, Doc?
Yes, he was killed instantly, Matt. 2 bullets right through his chest.
Well, I guess the law wasn't much help to him after all.
Well, you did what you could, Matt.
Marshal Dillon.
Yeah.
My name's Keller, Marshal. I'm an agent for the Santa Fe Railroad.
Okay, Keller, but if you want to talk, come to see me at my office later. A couple of men have just been killed here.
It's Clay I want to talk about, Marshal.
Oh?
Yeah. His land out at Stone Point.
Oh, what's your interest in Stone Point?
The railroad's planning ahead, Marshal. We want to build a station at Stone Point. I came out here to close the deal with Clay.
Close the deal? You mean you've already talked to Clay about this?
Oh, over a month ago, Marshal. Yeah, he said he owned all but 40 acres and was going to get that back.
Oh, I see.
Oh, we didn't want to buy his land. All we wanted from him was a free lease for where the station will stand. Well, that was fair enough, don't you think? The station there, Stone Point land, will become pretty valuable.
Yeah. Look, you come see me at noon tomorrow, Mr. Keller, and I'll have the rightful owner of that land in my office.
But I don't understand.
At noon tomorrow, huh?
Oh, okay, Marshal. Good night.
Chester.
Yes, sir.
Let's go find Miss Beadle. And tell her that Stone Point belongs to her. I know it's too late, and I don't suppose it'll do any good, but I want to tell her how sorry I am.
Yes, sir. That'd make me feel better, too, Mr. Dillon.
Gunsmoke, transcribed under the direction of Norman McDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Cordy. Featured in the cast were Lawrence Dobkin, Harry Bartell, Jeanette Nolan, and Joe Cranston. Parley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
And you know, I just had a thought how lucky we are to have these shows, particularly the ones of such great quality. It's almost like having a time machine. And that's it for this time around. I'm Dennis Daly. Thanks for joining me on Gunsmoke Theater as we go back into the archives to play more of the episodes of the radio show that changed everything for the better. Gunsmoke, right here on YouTube.